One thing that we had a special request from a player at LincolnWay East, which is Jack Tremblay. I think I'm saying Jack's name right. Am I saying it right, Jordan?
Yeah, Tremblay.
Tremblay. Okay. So Jack asked us, and particularly sent me a DM asking if we could do a review of his tape. I know, Jordan, you've seen it before. I've watched it, but you're much more in tune with this than I am. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. And then, if you want me to stop it at some point, just let me know. And then we'll go from there. But here's Jack Tremblay and his six-game, what he describes as COVID season highlights.
Yeah, so what's nice is that he highlights himself before the play even starts, so you already know where to look. And this is a great first play that he has. You see his speed off of the line of scrimmage. And not only that, he blows by that second level of defender and gets himself open for a touchdown. Now, it might look like an easy play, but he has to navigate between that safety that's dropped down and the linebacker to be able to split that gap there and get that free release up the seams to get that, touchdown pass. He literally splits between three people right there. You see that, Jeff?
Yep.
Which, I mean, on film you're like, oh, that's kind of easy, you just have to run. But when you're running at receiver, your head isn't turned, to your surroundings. You're going about maybe 10 yards or so, and then when you hit your break, you turn towards the quarterback. So he's not really looking of, hey, where's everybody at while he's running? He's looking for maybe half of that time being able to feel around him of where the defender's at and get himself open that way.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented kid and definitely got some speed. I don't have his speed in front of me, but the kid can play,
Yeah. The thing with Jack is that, most of this spring, he wasn't the number one receiver. They had a Bowling Green State running back where they gave the running back about 25 to 35 carries a game where he rushed for almost maybe 200 yards a game, right? Then they had, one receiver that's just as fast as Jack is, just as big of a threat as their number one. Jack will be their number two. They have another wide receiver that's also a very speedy receiver that can win over the top. So, and those three players, they're all seniors, and Jack, they're all seniors and they're graduating, and Jack is going to be, or at least what I think in talking to him, their number one receiver heading into the fall, to where he'll get more receptions per game. He'll get more looks. He'll get more targets. And that's going to help elevate his numbers and get him those college looks and college offers that he deserves, because he can play, and he has a very high ceiling. He can go play FCS, FBS type of ball. It's more of having the numbers to back that up and getting that high production with, the high receptions, high targets, and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it, talking about LincolnWay East, of course, they're a powerhouse, and Jack fitting into that. And you said, with the other two folks the other two players they had this year, other three players that are graduating, it's nothing to sneeze at saying you were you were in that company and maybe you were the number three receiver, right?
Yeah.
Because that LincolnWay East, I don't know what they do there or what they feed them or what the parents do, but they put on, it's just a reload, go again. Very, very powerful team. So him being in that position even last year is great, but I agree with you. Coming up and working where he's working this fall, I think is going to be phenomenal, and I think we'll see big things out of Jack.
Yeah. And, not only that, but he also, look at that, he'll block for his teammates on those RPOs, or even when it's a run play, he'll block. And not only block, he'll block through the whistle and pancake defenders too.
He's kind of, and I said this before and I was thinking of someone else, but this was the kid I was talking about with you the other day, that is kind of the way he moves around is kind of an Edelman kind of quality. I mean, he can go across the middle, he can take the lick, he can move all over, he can get the pass. and he can run downfield. That's the amazing thing about it. And he has some great hands, great eye-hand coordination.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, but he's a hard worker. He's one of the athletes that's a true, definition of having someone record your workouts and post it on Twitter. He'll record his field work, by himself of doing drills on the field, posting on Twitter. He'll record himself, max out on like deadlift or bench, squat, just things of that nature. Especially during the COVID period of not having a season, he was doing those little things on a consistent basis to, help get his name out there more.
Yeah, and I think that's something we're going to get into in other shows and at our seminar and stuff, is really making sure that you can tout yourself, right? Because no one else is going to tout you, so you might as well do it. In particular, when coaches can't get out to see you.
Yep.
And like I said, he's got that ability to move around a lot when he's on offense. Go across the middle, not afraid to take a hit. Here's another good example of staying on the blocker and opening it up for his running back, knowing where that running back, even though the running back is behind him and somewhere to the left. He's a really remarkable kid.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, Jeff, is he has 0 offers.
Yeah, I'm certainly not going to tell college coaches what they should or shouldn't do. But looking at him, I think there's some colleges that either haven't seen him or maybe have made the mistake not to recognize what the kid can do. But like you said, he's probably covered a little bit. He's kind of buried a little bit in a really quality LincolnWay East team last year. Yeah. So maybe he didn't get as many looks, but I think this year will brighten up for him. And I think colleges are going to really start looking at the kid because I think he can play.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he can play. I know he can play. The question is how, like you said, how high can he go, right?
Yeah. And what that really comes down to is what he produces in the fall. That whatever numbers he produces is, going to play a big factor of where he ends up going.
Well, and you like to see receivers. You've seen the last couple of times where he's out blocking. Another example here, downfield. Even though the play didn't result to coming up and stuff, he's out there. He knows what his assignment is, right? And he's doing what he's got to do, which is making sure he takes care of his guy that he's assigned to. He's required to block. He's supposed to block for his teammates coming through. And that. When you look at I think the whole picture of Jack, what I see is not just a kid that can play the wide receiver position, right? Play it well. He's got good hands, good feet, can run great routes, like you're talking about in that first play, kind of splitting those guys, getting down there, getting a touchdown. But then let's flip to the other side of the ball. He's not a prima donna receiver. He's going to go to the other side of the ball. He's going to do the same thing he has to do with the same tenacity on the defensive side that he does on the offensive side. And he is an unselfish player. That's the key. He's out there doing what he has to do. There's not a lot of glory of being a wide receiver and having to block somebody. But there is when you've got teammates behind you who need you to make that block for them to be successful. And to say, to be the number 3 guy, number 4 guy, whatever it was last year, and still do what he's got to do. He's a guy that's patient, waiting in the wings, and he's the guy that I would think a college coach would look at and go, that's the kid that I want, because he's going to do whatever he has to do, whatever the team needs him to do, whether it be on offense or defense, for us to be successful. And that's what I see in Jack. Jack, I hope you enjoyed this review. I don't know you. Hopefully, I'll get to meet you. I've heard a lot of good things about you. And for anybody else out there, this is the first of many that we're going to do. We've broke this down separately because our last segment was about an hour, and so I know people don't want to sit here and listen to us, but we're going to try to break that down. And and we're going to try to break this out as well, Jack. So then that way you can just take this review, look at it, you're certainly welcome to give us feedback. I didn't see anything bad in that. I would say I wouldn't do that, or he's got some weakness. I think, like you said, there's only an upside to him, and that upside is where does the elevator stop? Is it stop in D2, D1, FCS, FBS? You don't know. So I will say this though, Jack. I like you. I want you to be successful, but I think Bradley's playing you next year, and that's my team. So, if you want to take the night off, Jack, you want to, hang out with your girlfriend, just come up and sit with me and not play, do that. So I'm not going to wish you bad luck, young man, but it looks like I think you're on our schedule next year, and you're always a tough opponent. But maybe if I don't meet you before then, I can see you and talk to you after the game. So that's our review of LincolnWay East, Jack Tremblay, and just an upside kind of kid, and we're looking forward to seeing him play in the fall. Right, Jordan?
Yep, exactly. See what he produces, because ceiling's high for him.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I know me and you working together on stuff, we'll be able to kind of kick stuff around, and if you see something, you'll let me know if I see something, and that goes for any of those kids. It's not just Jack, but Jack is our first review on this show, and we're pleased to do it for you, Jack, and we're pleased to do it for anybody else that we can, and the only thing that's really wrong with this is I spelled Lincoln wrong on LincolnWay. But, other than that, it's not a big deal. See, Jack, I'm not perfect. Okay. So if a college coach was reviewing me, they'd say, hey, it's great, but you can't spell Lincoln. So that's okay, though. We're amateurs. We do this. Jordan does it for his job. I'm retired, disabled guy. So I do the best I can do. But I can tell you what, and I'll say this, not just to you, Jack, but I'll say it to everybody listening. I had a call from a buddy of mine who's an attorney, and I'm helping his son. He's in a different sport in hockey. And he said, I really like the production quality. So we're not Rob Spotlight 39 good, but I'll tell you this, Rob, I'm coming for you. No, Rob does a good job, which we're going to highlight here in one of our shows coming up. Get stuff over to him and start doing stuff.